Hey everybody, Jeff Hutchin here with The Pursuit, and as promised, I told you guys that once we got into Moldova and on the border of Ukraine that I would shoot you guys an episode or two, and this is the first probably of two episodes that I'll be doing while we're here on the ground. Right now, the team that I'm with is located in Moldova. We crossed over the border a day and a half ago. We actually flew into Romania and crossed over the border there, and with a great deal amount of supplies, including some water filters that were donated through Vivo Blue. Water for All is their nonprofit, and they donated about 120 filters and a bunch of prenatal vitamins that we were bringing in to help with the refugees, to help not only provide clean water for them, which is a major issue here in these refugee camps, but also prenatal vitamins for the moms and for the kiddos, and just to provide them some nutrition. And so, unfortunately, when we got to the border of Romania and Moldova there, all of other supplies miraculously were allowed to go through, and this is a lot of clothing and toothbrushes and toothpaste and deodorant and just basic needs and essentials, clothing for the refugees. All that was allowed to go through just miraculously, but unfortunately the border control got hung up on these water filters that we were bringing in and these prenatal vitamins, and so they held those, and they literally held us at the checkpoint for several hours, which is just crazy to me to think about. Why in the world would they hold us up over these things when they have such other greater issues that they need to be focusing in on? But for whatever reason, those things got held up. They actually got detained and held there at the border. And Oleg, who's the gentleman that runs the ministry here in Moldova that we partnered with, had to go into Chisinau, which is the capital city of Moldova, and work with the government agency there and to try to get permission to get those things released, which we've been told that those items have been released. At least the custom agents are now able to release them. Now Oleg is going to have to drive back to the border of Romania in order to get those boxes back and the filters back and the vitamins back. And we're supposed to meet up with him in the morning, which is great. But today we're staying in an area called Belci, is the name of the town, in northern Moldova. And we're about 50 miles away from, we're being told about 50 miles away from the Ukrainian border. And so things are fairly calm here. This is kind of what I would call a second tier staging area for a lot of the refugees. So as they cross the border from Ukraine, there's an immediate staging area there, which we're going to visit this weekend, which I'll probably do another episode from. And this is kind of a second tier staging area. So they move from the border more inside the country of Moldova. This is a place where they're processed, and then the women and children then are dispersed globally, literally all over Europe and all over the world. And so this is kind of the area that they get staged at. And so we went and visited that place today, met with about 100 ladies and their kiddos. And I tell you, it was, I was just FaceTiming with my daughter just a few moments ago, and we were talking about the experience. And it's hard to explain, because you just see in the faces of these people the heartache and the hopelessness and the loss and the shock and everything they're going through. It's just really something that you can't even put words to. You can't even begin to explain the things that these folks are going through right now, and the emotions and the feelings that they have. But just for a few moments, man, for like an hour, we were able just to kind of remove them, if you will, from that environment. And we had some worship songs that we were singing with them and playing some games. And then we had just a bunch of supplies that the Foundry Church in Castle Pines, Colorado provided to us to be able to distribute to these folks. And so we had, like I said, clothing and deodorant, toothpaste, and all things like that. It's basic essentials. Candy for the kiddos, clothing. It was amazing to be able to pass it out and just kind of see, maybe just for a few moments, in the eyes and faces of these kids and these moms, hope, and the fact that, we were able to just communicate to them that they aren't forgotten and that they're loved, and there's people in the world that are thinking about them and praying for them. And so yeah, it was an emotional day for sure. I'm definitely feeling it tonight, just reflecting and thinking back on the things that we saw and the things that we experienced. The next day or so, there's 4 or 5 different transitional homes that we're probably going to be visiting and spending some time with the people. And then this weekend, the plan is right now, we'll see if it changes, because things can change pretty quickly, but the plan is to move closer, move further east, much near Ukraine, and in Transnistria, which is a belt of land that runs along the eastern border of Moldova, between Ukraine and Moldova. It's a real slim little slice of land that's still Russian controlled, communist controlled. I've actually visited there, I guess it was 90 years ago. I've been there before. And so we're going to go to that border. It looks like one of the larger main transition facilities and transition refugee camps is located in that area. So we're going to be visiting there. We're going to be taking those water filters with us, because clean water is a major deal in this conflict. That the infrastructure is virtually being destroyed by the Russians, and so clean water is a major problem. And so I'm really excited and so thankful for the folks at Vivo Blue that have donated these filters. They'll be able to help thousands and thousands of people. Literally, what's amazing about these filters, guys, is you can take virtually any quality of water, like lead. A lot of the water here is really full of lead, which makes it undrinkable. It's not healthy. And these filters are able to filter out all that lead, so you don't have to boil the water. And they can literally take river water. They can take any kind of water, really, virtually, and put it into these gravity-fed water filtration systems that Vivo Blue has created. They're literally designed. These filters are designed for disasters and third world conflicts like we're experiencing here. And so we're excited to get those into the hands of the people. One filter will last about 3 years for a family of 10 or 10 people. Countless numbers of gallons for 3 years, and they're really easy to maintain. And so they're in an amazing way that we can literally change the lives of people very, very quickly. And so that's why it's so important we get our hands on these filters. And so we've got 120 sitting at the border that we're going to be able to get into these people's hands hopefully real soon, and help them out that way. And then so we're going to be doing that on Friday and Saturday. Hopefully we'll be able to broadcast live from that border. That's my hope. And you'll get a chance to meet some people. I'm going to sit down and interview Oleg, who runs New Hope Eurasia, who's based out of Moldova. I really want to encourage you to go visit their website. They're doing incredible work. New Hope Eurasia, and that's EURASIA.org, I believe, is the website. You can go on there and you can donate, and please know that money is going 100% to the refugees to help them. They're doing incredible work here. Matter of fact, this is where I am right now. We're staying in one of their transition homes, if you will, that they use for sex trafficked ladies. And so they've cleared some space for us to be able to stay here, which is really kind. And so we'll be heading over there this weekend, and I just really want to encourage and ask you guys to pray for us. We've got an amazing team of inside the country. So be praying for them, praying for their protection, praying for their provision, praying for the favor of God to be on them as they're traveling, and literally be in the hands and feet of Christ to these people. It's just amazing. It's just so inspiring to me. So this will be a short episode. I'm not going to interview anybody today. I just wanted to jump on and let you know what's going on, give you an update. I promised you that I would, and that's what's going on here. So be praying for these folks. I'll tell you, one of the things you're going to find out in this episode that we're going to hopefully shoot this weekend is that the message that we're hearing in Western media, surprise, surprise, is really not the story of what's going on here. There's a lot of other things, a lot of other contributing factors that are a part of this war that we just simply don't understand, and it's not being reported. And so most likely we'll unpack some of those things. We'll talk about some of those things with Oleg, who has a very unique perspective here on the ground in Moldova and in Ukraine, and hopefully shed some light on this. So hey, thank you for joining us for this very quick, short version of the pursuit tonight. I got to head to bed. I'm worn out, but be praying for us. Remember, we're on the relentless pursuit of truth for the purpose of transformation. And that's what we're doing here on the ground. We're gathering truth. And I tell you, when we gather that truth and we truly understand the things that are going on, it can't help but transform us and open our eyes to what's really going on around this world. And honestly, what I'm convicted of is how blessed we are in the United States to have the things that we have and the freedoms that we have. And to think that literally where I'm sitting right now, I'm 40, 50 miles away from war, from people dying, just innocent people dying. And it just saddens my heart. And as I was talking to my daughter tonight, she goes, I really feel like the Lord is breaking your heart for the things that break his. And that's absolutely true. It's just, it's heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. So be praying for these people. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I hope you guys are encouraged and inspired. And we will hopefully touch base with you in a couple days here from the border of Ukraine. Hey, blessings to you guys. We'll see you. Hang in there. I'm going to go get some rest. We'll see you next time on The Pursuit.